Good morning, gorgeous. How are you ladies doing today? I hope you're doing wonderful. Welcome to my channel. I'm Dr. Michelle Daff, and I'm so happy that you're here with me today as we talk about the benefits of being married. Why get married? What are the benefits of being someone's wife? What are the benefits of having a husband versus just living with a guy? I've seen so much on social media and in articles that talk about decentering men and this idea of not making men a priority, not making marriage a priority as a woman, and sort of taking men off the table completely, which is very dangerous. And as a feminine woman, which is what this channel focuses on, as a feminine woman, marriage is important. Marriage is a partnership that binds you with another man to give you that opportunity to increase in your womanhood, to have the safety, the ability to nurture, the ability to provide the love and care for your husband and for your family, and to raise beautiful children that are healthy and balanced and go out into the world to make a difference. Marriage is also so important to God. He is the one that established marriage as a union that brings so much fruit. And God himself refers to us, people who are in Christ, as his bride. Jesus is the bridegroom, and we, the church, are the bride. So God believes that marriage is so special, so important, so sanctified that he uses that exact analogy to describe his relationship with us. Marriage has so many benefits for women. I've seen content online that talks about marriage is great, but it's only great for men. And it's not true. It's a lie. Marriage is great for men and women for completely different reasons. And if we are always in the stance of comparison and of figuring out who's winning and who's losing, then we lose that cohesion. We lose that balance that women and men bring into the world, because we are different. And it's not to be compared. It's to be honored, cherished, and loved. So I hope that this video just sheds a little bit of light on why you want to get married as a feminine woman. What are the benefits as opposed to being single if you actually desire marriage, and as opposed to just living with a man and the man saying, oh, it's just a piece of paper. It is not just a piece of paper. If it was just a piece of paper, we wouldn't have people who are in the LGBT community fighting for that exact same right, because there are so many benefits. Otherwise, it literally wouldn't matter, would it? So I want you to go ahead and sit back, relax, get something to drink, get something to write with, and let's talk about this. And now a message from today's sponsor, BetterHelp. With the trials that life brings, the constant changes in our society, and the excessive consumption of social media can fuel things like depression, anxiety, and just bring about many mental health concerns. This highlights the importance of having a safe space for your mental wellness. That is why I want to introduce you to BetterHelp. BetterHelp provides therapy, making it easy to get the support that you need. With around 32,000 qualified therapists across various specialties, BetterHelp offers affordable rates across different services. If you need guidance in making life choices, or you just need someone to vent to and help sort out your thoughts, BetterHelp can help. When you reach out to BetterHelp, they will match you with the most suitable therapist based on your needs. And you can switch therapists if you need a better fit. BetterHelp provides therapy sessions that are convenient and comfortable. Whether you prefer online, text, audio, video calls, their professional therapists are adaptable to your needs. Are you ready to begin your journey? Visit the link in the description below at betterhelp.com/Dr. Michelle to enjoy 10% discount on your first month. That's betterhelp.com/Dr. Michelle. Thank you so much, BetterHelp, for sponsoring today's video for all of these beautiful ladies. As I talk about marriage today, I am talking about God's image and God's creation of marriage, which is between one man and one woman. In the sanctified covenant of marriage, which is what a couple says when they get married and they walk down the altar, they dedicate that marriage to themselves with God. So God is part of your marriage. And I think that is probably one of the most important benefits of being married, is that you have God in your marriage. You are not just habitating with someone, cohabitating with a person. You actually are in a promise. You are in a covenant with the Lord. God is taking precedence in your marriage, and he's allowing things to happen in that marriage by his good grace. And in the Bible, God made it clear that it is not good for man to be alone. It is important to have a suitable helper. And this is something that if you desire marriage, if that's something that you actually want for yourself, it's important to know. Oftentimes we do feel alone as people. We want companionship. We want someone to just be with. We want someone to share things with. When a person travels or a person gets a promotion or they get any sort of achievement in life, or they are going through something tough, they get a flat tire, or God forbid, they get into a car accident, there's always that first person that comes to your mind. And people want to have a first person that comes into their mind to reach out to and to talk to and to share those experiences with. It is not good for man to be alone. And having a suitable helper makes life so much more beautiful. So one of the benefits of being married, especially as a feminine woman, is that you receive help. Growing up in a single parent home, this is one of the things that I would hear my mom talk about the most. She would just say, I wish I had more help. And she would say, this person or that person, they have more resources. She was always saying that. And as a child, I didn't know what she meant by they have more resources. But what she meant was that they had help. So if we had a dance recital and maybe we had an open house and maybe someone had to pick up cupcakes and someone had to make sure we got our dinner, there are more hands. She could rely on her husband to help out, to drop off, to pick up, to do whatever needs to be done. It didn't have to all fall on her. So being married is beautiful because you have help. And that help is something that you can rely on in some of the smallest situations. It doesn't have to be anything grand. It could just be helping me take the groceries from the car into the house. And a lot of these things, when you're young, it doesn't matter. Like, you don't even see the benefit. It doesn't even matter because you're capable. But as you get older, as you age, as life happens and illnesses happen and different things that are unexpected happen, you will then begin to realize how important it is to have a partner who is committed to you, who has said, I don't care if you're fat, if you're skinny, if you're pretty, if you have makeup on, if you're this and you're that, I am committed to you. I am making that declaration in front of all of our friends and family. I am sharing with the world that you are my choice forever. That is serious. And that is what gives you the confidence and the safety. As feminine women, we do thrive on feeling safe. That gives you the safety that this person is yours. Some of that help is not just with physical things. A lot of times, especially with my mom when she was talking about help, a lot of times that help is actually mental, with problem solving and thinking. When you're in a marriage, you have another person to bounce an idea off of. If my son is not feeling well or there's something going on in my house and my husband's out of town, I feel the stress. I know how important it is to be able to say, okay, this is what's going on. What should we do? Even if I know what to do, it is nice to have another adult to be able to ask and to be able to share in that. Even if we make a mistake, at least we made it together and, we're able to learn together. So a lot of that help is mental help. It's just problem solving and thinking through things. It is so important to have someone by your side who can help you problem solve and think through different issues in life, because you don't have all the answers. And it's just nice to be able to have someone who can help guide you in the things that you really don't understand. Another wonderful benefit of being married is you have better sex. Yes, this is one of those things that, has been pulled and proven that married couples do have better sex. That's because when you're married, you're having that safety in your partner. You don't have to worry about where this guy has been, who he's been with, and what diseases he's carrying. You don't have to worry about, your body and feeling unsafe and feeling uncomfortable. You're with a person who has experienced you. You're with a person who is dedicated to knowing your body, to pleasing your body, to having that communion together. It's a dedication. And when you are married, the two become one flesh. Becoming one flesh is something that is a mystery in the supernatural, but in the physical, having that togetherness through sex really does blossom and bloom in your marriage. It allows you to be able to have a depth in your romantic relationship. When you're sleeping with different people, when you have this partner, that partner, with this guy and that guy, you accumulate so much. Not only a body count, but you accumulate things in your spirit. You accumulate experiences that may not always be pleasant. You accumulate heartbreaks and different things that can run very deep because you shared your body with them. And oftentimes it is difficult to connect on a deeper level than just sex. Because when you're married, you share everything. This person knows you in and out. You have a true nakedness in your soul. Like, they're able to see you fully. And they're also saying yes to that. They're saying yes to you in all of your ugliness and in all of your beauty. So when you compile that with sex, it just brings out a deeper level of pleasure because this person is your person forever. Another benefit of being married is companionship. But I know I talked about that a little bit, but I want to get a little bit deeper. When it comes to companionship, when you have your husband, this person who has decided that they're going to be with you and that they're going to give to you and they're going to connect with you on the deepest level possible, they're able to really see you. You see yourself and you know your strengths and you know your areas of limitation, but they really see you. There are things about yourself that you may not recognize or you may not understand, or things about yourself that you're not changing or molding or growing to be, that your partner can see in you. And when you have a companion, when you have someone who's always with you, who is your person, you're able to be corrected, you're able to be helped and guided in ways that you would never have. And a simple example of that would be like, let's say you go out to a party and you're with your best friend and you're talking, you're having a great time, and you have lipstick on your teeth. If you have your best friend with you, your friend's gonna say, "Ooh, girl, you got lipstick on your teeth. Let's go ahead and let's take care of that. Let's go to the bathroom." You're gonna have that handled immediately as soon as they see it, right? But let's say you're by yourself and you go to the party. You could have lipstick on you the entire party. There are some people who are bold enough and brave enough to tell you, but it all depends on the environment that you're in. Some people will not tell you out of fear of hurting your feelings or being uncomfortable or whatever their reasons are. And you'll get in the car and you'll say, "Oh my gosh, I have lipstick on my teeth. How come no one told me?" Because you didn't have a companion. You didn't have anyone with you to help you. And that's a very surface level. But let's get a little deeper. I'm gonna take you deeper than the ocean right now. Think about this. There is a scripture that says, "Counsel in a man's heart is deep water, but a man of understanding draws it out." That is out of Proverbs chapter 20, verse 5. This is a very deep proverb. What it means is that there are things inside of you as a person. There are things that God has put inside of you. Everything that you need for your life is actually in you. Just like Eve was in Adam. Everything you need is in you. So when you have a husband, he is able, it's not to say it will be him, but it certainly can be him. He is able to draw out those things that you don't even know are in your heart. And having that counsel with your husband is a beautiful opportunity for you to be able to grow in ways that you could never imagine, especially if you're with a masculine man, because those men have the foresight and the ability to be able to take something and make it great, turn you into greatness, even if it's giving you an idea or seeing that you have particular giftings or introducing you to opportunities that you never thought possible, just arranging them for you or just elevating you, right? They're able to do that, but they're able to draw out what's in your heart that you don't even know is there. And that is the most beautiful thing about partnering with another person for life, is that you have someone who can really see you So if you're blessed to have a husband who has the understanding of you and who is able to have the ability to draw out those things that God has put inside of you, then you are on your way to being able to fulfill things on this earth that you could never have done alone. Now, moving along that same path, another benefit of being married, my love, is that being married helps you to be a better person. Being married is one of the biggest challenges a person can embark on, in the sense that you are tied with this person. There are people who do little like tricks and little tests with their boyfriends, and they'll say, okay, we're gonna go on vacation. We're gonna go to Miami and I'm gonna see how it is being in a hotel with him for a week. I'm gonna go on a cruise with him to the Bahamas, and I'm gonna see what it's like being on a ship with this man for a week. Or some people even move in with their boyfriends and say, I want to test this out. Can we live together? And oftentimes they clash. You wouldn't believe how many breakups happen on vacations, because you are finally in a circumstance where you are so close to this person, where you're seeing everything that they do. You're seeing their habits. You're seeing all their moods. Some people only go on dates with you and see you when they're in a great mood, or when they've had a couple shots of tequila or smoked some weed. And then they go hang out with you, and you're seeing this altered version of them. You never actually get to see the entire picture. So sometimes people will do this and they say, okay, this is what I'm getting. But when you decide to take the step to marry a person, when you have believed that you've gotten that unction from the Lord to say, yes, proceed, then you are able to see this person clearly in every way. And they're able to see you. And you have to learn how to adjust to them, their habits, their tendencies, their moods, and just life in general. And this is actually what shapes people faster than being single. Because when you're single, yes, in your walk in life, you're going to have tests and trials. If you are a person who is immersed in life, if you have a job, if you have children, if you have family, you're going to be dealing with people. But there is nothing like dealing with a person who you have to share a bed with at the end of the night. There's nothing like dealing with a person that you are called to forgive over and over and over again. This is one of those things that challenges a person in a way that makes them a better person. You end up becoming more loving, more giving, more forgiving. You end up seeing parts of yourself that need change. And yes, it might hurt to see it. Yes, you may not want to admit it, but it gives you the opportunity to be beautiful, to grow as a person. You get to measure your growth. You get to see how your behavior impacts people. You get a person who says, I love you, but I'm not going to tolerate this. And you're forced to work on things. And it all benefits you at the end of the day. So ultimately, your growth in your womanhood and your growth in your spiritual walk oftentimes is guided and accelerated by the fact that you are married and you are under the covenant of God to show up in a certain kind of way. Another benefit of being married is that you actually get benefits, like in the legal system, in your health. You get benefits with insurance. If you are married, again, talking about why certain groups of people did not want to be shut out from the marriage institution, is because there are actual, like, tangible benefits that you receive from being married. You get to get on your husband's insurance. Insurance is extremely expensive, and that is a benefit. Tax breaks and benefits just in the tax system. Of course, God forbid, if your husband were to commit a crime of some sort, you would not be obligated to testify against your husband. Even the legal system values that companionship and connection between a husband and a wife, and they would not want a husband and a wife to have something come between them. What God joins together, let no man separate. There is to be no division when it comes to marriage. And so you have protections that help you in life outside of just romance and love. There are things that truly do benefit you just by the fact that you have stated on paper in a legal way that you and this person are together. Another benefit of being married is that you live longer. Married people are more healthy. Just the idea of you having someone in your home that you are constantly seeing, that you're constantly measuring yourself with, is helpful. It is important to have a purpose in life, and we all have a purpose. God created every single one of you for a specific assignment and a specific reason. And that is oftentimes linked to your marriage, because you and your husband can come together and do great things, but sometimes not so much. Either way, you're with a person who can look at you and say, you've been coughing a lot. Are you okay? Do you need to go see a doctor? Versus if you're by yourself, that conversation is probably not going to happen. People are just going to run away from you, right? You have someone who sees you every day, who's noticing certain things. If your husband is starting to put on a little bit of weight, he may say, okay, I'm actually going to start eating a lot more clean. Can you start making me more salads and adding more greens to my food? And then you may think, okay, you know what? I don't even eat vegetables myself. Let me go ahead and start eating them too. Let's get fit together. Your husband may say, let's take a walk, or let's start jogging together, or let's join a biking crew. There's always that constant conversation that helps the two of you get better. And sometimes this comes as a result of a diagnosis. The doctors may say you need to lose this amount of weight because you're at risk for diabetes. And your husband may say, yeah, we should all do it. And you have that level of accountability. And in addition to that, it helps just in the sense that you have someone to take care of. You have someone to show up for. And that's what I talk about when I'm talking about purpose. So there's that purpose in the sense that you know that someone's relying on you for dinner. So if you're feeling a little bit lazy or you're feeling like a little bit down, you getting up and you making that toast and eggs for your husband could be the very thing that puts a smile on your face. It gives you a purpose in life for your family, which is why you see a lot of people who are single, or people who are single and then they retire. They end up dying a lot faster than people who retire and still volunteer. Because having that sense of purpose, knowing that people are depending on you, whether they're just depending on you for a smile or just to see you, gives you that motivation and that, desire to live on, right? And so this is really important when it comes to marriage, is having that life partner, especially in your older years, that you're still committed to and that you still look forward to seeing and that you still have a serving relationship with. Another benefit of being married is for your children. Children that grow up in homes where their parents are married are healthier, happier children. Children who grow up in single parent homes typically suffer from so many issues with behavior problems, mental illness, poverty. There are so many things that happen when you're relying on just one parent. Even if parents are not together and they're living in the home, that can still cause issues when they're not married, especially when the children know that they're not married, or when they constantly talk about how they're not married, or whatever the case might be. There can be dysfunction. When you're married, it is two families coming together officially. Two families joining together. It's not just you and your husband, but you have an entire family that your children can benefit from. You have resources, people to pour into your children, and inheritance. You have people who are giving things to your children that will benefit them in their future. So your children feel that sense of safety. They're taking from you. They're taking from your husband on how to be a person in this world. They're understanding what it feels like to feel safe, to feel loved, to not feel abandoned, not feel like they're worthless, not have to figure out who they are and create a false identity. They're getting all of that from their stable home. Granted, both parents are healthy, because that is a requirement. We're not just talking about being married, but being in a healthy, happy marriage, being in a God-centered, Christ-filled marriage. Ultimately, your children are blessed, and children who come from a healthy two-parent home do show up differently in the world, do have to have less encumbrances, less drama in their coming of age. They're not having to do tons of therapy and take medication and have all these breakups and issues in life. Oftentimes they don't have that because they did have a Christ-centered, stable two-parent home. And there are so many more benefits of being married. These are just a few. I would love for you to share them in the comments below if you think of other things that are important, things that you missed out on because you weren't married or because you did not grow up in a two-parent home, or just things that you've noticed are very important and help people who are married. Let us know in the comments. The last thing that I'll mention is that a benefit of being married is you being able to be that expression of Christ, of God in a male and female form, because God created male and he created female, and God is the attributes of both men and women, both the feminine and the masculine. Jesus is the lion and the lamb. There is always that balance. And when you have a beautiful marriage, you have that expression of God in the female form, God in the male form, working together, collaborating together to build the kingdom, to bring the world so much more than you could bring being by yourself. Having the financial ability, having the legacy, having the ability to be able to have a kingdom vision and bring things to the world, having the love of Jesus, the Spirit of God flowing through the two of you as a symbol to the world of God in his fullness, is something that is so important for the world to see and for the world to benefit from. So again, it is not good for man to be alone. If you are someone who is single and doesn't really want to be single, you do have a desire for sex, you have a desire to be with a man, but you just haven't quite got there yet, these are some things to think about as to the benefits of being married. Of course, not everyone is called to be married, and that is a different conversation. That is not what this video is about. Being single also has its benefits, and we know that if you're single and you are in Christ, you still are not alone because the Spirit of God lives inside of you. So either way, you're not alone. But oftentimes we want a human being. We want a physical person that we can see, feel, and touch and hear to be our companion. And marriage is a beautiful entity when we do it God's way. So I hope that this video helped you and blessed you. I thank you for being here with me and listening to this and taking this in. I hope that all of this information on this channel is blessing you and helping you to become the woman that you know you're supposed to be. If you want more content on marriage and on love and on femininity, then you can listen to my podcast, The Dr. Daf Show, on all podcast platforms. And if you want to reach out to me, you can reach me on Instagram at Dr. Michelle Daf and at The Dr. Daf Show. I love you, and I will see you in the next video. Remember that in all things you do, make a feminine impression. Bye-bye.